Forget everything you think you know about where Jesus grew up. No grand cathedral, no marble floors. The man who changed human history spent his first 30 years living in a house smaller than most modern living rooms. No electricity, no running water, dirt floors, stone walls, tiny oil lamps barely lighting the room. And every morning before sunrise, he woke up, picked up carpenter's tools, and went to work. This is the story of the 30 years before the miracles. Nazareth, around 1 AD, was not a city. It was a tiny village of roughly 200 to 400 people. Everyone knew everyone. The hills of Galilee were covered with olive trees and fig groves. The Sea of Galilee shimmered in the distance, but Nazareth itself was quiet and poor. Farmers, shepherds, craftsmen. That was the world Jesus grew up in. His home was built from rough limestone blocks cut from the surrounding hills. The walls were thick to keep heat out during summer and warmth inside during winter. The floors were packed earth or stone. The ceilings were low. Small openings in the walls allowed limited light and air inside. At night, the house was illuminated by tiny oil lamps fueled with olive oil. The home likely had only 1 or 2 rooms. The family slept together on woven mats spread across the floor. Animals were often kept nearby at night to provide warmth during colder seasons. This was where Jesus lived as a child. Joseph is described in the Gospels as a carpenter, but the original word used was tekton, meaning builder or craftsman. A tekton worked with wood and stone. They built doors, roof beams, tools, furniture, and farming equipment. It was hard physical labor, and Jesus almost certainly learned the trade himself. Before the sermons and miracles, Jesus spent years working with his hands, cutting wood, shaping stone, carrying tools. The nearby city of Sepphoris, only a few miles from Nazareth, was undergoing major construction during Jesus' youth. Many historians believe Joseph and Jesus likely worked there. A normal day began before sunrise. Grain had to be ground by hand every morning to make bread. Water had to be carried from wells or cisterns. Meals were simple: bread, olives, lentils, figs, dates, olive oil, and occasionally fish. Meat was rare. The family gathered around low shared dishes, eating together by lamplight after sunset. No screens. No noise, just firelight, conversation, and the sounds of the village settling into darkness. Faith shaped every part of daily life. Prayers were spoken in the morning and before sleep. The Sabbath transformed the week. Work stopped completely. Oil lamps were lit. Families gathered for meals and prayer. And several times each year, the family traveled nearly 70 miles on foot to Jerusalem for major festivals. The boy Jesus walked those roads. He grew up surrounded by workers, farmers, shepherds, and ordinary families struggling to survive under Roman rule. And that world shaped everything he later taught. When Jesus spoke about builders, seeds, shepherds, bread, lamps, and lost coins, he was speaking from experience. These were not abstract stories. This was his life. He did not come from wealth or power. He came from a small village in the hills of Galilee, from a simple limestone house, from sawdust, oil lamps, bread ovens, and water jars. And from that humble beginning came words that still shape the lives of billions of people today. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of Jesus, subscribe for more.